Good morning, dear students. So today I am giving particularly this video lecture after a very long time, right? Because you all know that my whiteboard was been damaged, and now we are again back. So your exam was going on, and I hope all of your exam have went on. It is over, and you also scored a very good mark. So today we will be starting with a fresh chapter, that is plant life. Okay, so open your book of, that is Oxford Biology Connect with Science, so that we can study. Keep your book open in front of you and a note copy so that you can note actually what I am trying to teach you. Also please don't forget to take a pencil with you so that you can mark the important points. See, I am following this book, this particular version. I don't know whether this I am also following the same book, okay, but actually the version will match or not, I don't know. So maybe it may happen that page number or the chapter number, it will not match, but ultimately whatever I am going to teach you, exactly it is same as of your book, because it is of same author and same Oxford book and of class 7. Okay, no worry. So the very first thing that we are going to study is what is plant life. Now let me summarize the chapter and discuss it. What is plant life? What are we going to study here? Can you tell me what is plant life? You will answer me, sir, it's very easy. What is plant life? We all know. Plant means the plant that we see around us, and the life or the process that is contained in it, it is plant life. Yes, my dear students, it is exactly the same. So on the very start or the very starting of the chapter, I would like to say you all that please don't get nervous about this chapter. It may be lengthy, but it is very damn easy, because you have already done more further in class 6. You have already completed maximum part of this chapter. It is just a revision chapter. See, first point is nutrition. Okay, so the very first point is nutrition. All organisms need food to live and grow. The food we eat provides us with energy to carry out the various body functions. The process of providing or obtaining food by an organism for growth, development and to carry out vital activities is called nutrition. So what is nutrition? We consume food, that food gives us energy, and through that energy we can run, we can walk, we can talk, we can teach, we can study. So it is known as particularly nutrition. The mode of nutrition may be of different types in different organisms. Depending upon the type of the food they take, animals get their food from plants and from other animal sources. Plants on the other hand make their own food, and thus they are known as autotrophs. I have already taught you that what are autotrophs. Autotrophic nutrition. So what are autotrophic nutrition? See, autotrophic nutrition is a type of nutrition in which organisms make their own food from inorganic substance obtained from the environment. Such organisms are called autotrophs. The word autotrophs is made up of auto meaning self and trophs meaning feed, so that we can say that they can feed themselves. Autotrophic organisms are also called producers because they are the source of food for all other organisms. All green plants and some bacteria belong to this group. Now the previous chapter was ecosystem, right? I don't know. No, for your, it is for class 8. Sorry, for class 7 it was kingdom and classification 2. Yeah, see, this chapter is very much interesting for kingdom classification 2. It is much more interesting. So autotrophic nutrition, there is nothing to explain. It means that particular plant which can make their own food is known as autotrophs, or the organisms which can make their own food is known as autotrophs, and these are also known as producers because all other organisms depend on this particular plant or particular organisms which we call as plant to get their nutrition. Now how do plant get their nutrition? Definitely a small kid can also answer it. It is through photosynthesis, right? The process of using the energy of sunlight to convert water and carbon dioxide into glucose and oxygen is called photosynthesis. So this is the formula of that. Carbon dioxide plus water gives out what? Glucose plus energy. Now how does this happen? This happen in presence of sunlight, and which particular cell is responsible for that? That is chlorophyll. So sunlight and chlorophyll is very important, because without sunlight and chlorophyll, photosynthesis cannot take place. Okay. See, what are the basic requirements of photosynthesis? Number 1, carbon dioxide. It is a raw material required for photosynthesis. It is a source of carbon necessary for the formation of glucose. The gas carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere, is taken by the plants through the stomata. Water, only 1% of the water absorbed by the roots is utilized in photosynthesis. The rest is lost by transpiration. Water also serves as a solvent for transporting minerals within the plant body. Water absorbed by the root hair reaches the xylem in root, from where it is transported up the stem, xylem, and further to the leaves. The extensive system of vein and venulates in leaves allows water to reach the leaf cells efficiently. Right? Now the next point is sunlight. The light energy of the sun is trapped by the chlorophyll, is used to convert the raw materials carbon dioxide and water into chemical energy of the food or the glucose. Right? Chlorophyll is the green pigment present in chloroplast of leaf cell. This pigment imparts green color to the leaves and young stem of plants. The main function of chlorophyll is to trap the light energy of the sun. Here one activity is given. Please go through this activity. This is very easy. Just go through this activity. Now what is chloroplast? See here, I don't know whether it is visible or not. See this diagram, chloroplast, this diagram, because I am not telling you figure number, because book may not match. Okay, this diagram is very important for drawing as well as for leveling. Chloroplast is an oval shaped organelle found in the photosynthesizing cell of leaves and young stem. Chloroplasts are also found in algae, a group of simple aquatic plant. The chloroplast has a double layered membrane that surrounds the ground substance called stroma or matrix. Matrix consists of flattened coin-like sac called thylakoids, which are arranged in piles to form grana. Chlorophyll is present within the thylakoids. The stack of thylakoid sacs are connected to each other by stroma lamellae. Okay, please mark this, stroma lamellae. For photosynthesis to happen, water and carbon dioxide have to reach the leaves. Chlorophyll present in the leaves cell traps light energy of the sun. This initiates the chemical process of using carbon dioxide and water to form glucose. This process releases oxygen into the atmosphere through the stomata. The glucose produced during photosynthesis is transported from leaves to various parts of the plant through conducting tissue phloem. Right? What is the function of xylem? Xylem carries water, but phloem carries the food. Plant converts the glucose into starch, which they store in different organs such as root, stem or leaves. The process of photosynthesis is summed up in figure 4.2, or you can see this particular figure. Is it focus? Wait. Oh, what happened to my camera? I don't know. See this figure. I guess it is visible. Diagrammatic representation of photosynthesis. Okay. Now factors that affect photosynthesis, what are they? Light intensity, just mark the point, temperature, carbon dioxide concentration, water. So these particular 4 things are very important for plant to conduct photosynthesis. What is light intensity? See, plant performs maximum amount of photosynthesis during ambient light or ambient sunlight. If it is a very hot day, then photosynthesis, it is not like that excess amount or huge amount of sun means that huge amount of photosynthesis will occur. No, not like that. Okay, if it is like a normal ambient temperature or a normal ambient sunlight is required, okay, within that it would not be possible to plant for photosynthesis. This is the very first point. Okay. Now if it is a cloudy humid day, then also photosynthesis will be very less, right. The second point here it is given as let me check. The second point is temperature. Definitely optimum temperature is required. Photosynthesis cannot perform with a very high temperature, not with a low temperature. Okay, the optimum temperature can be 25 to 35 degrees centigrade. Now the same goes for carbon dioxide concentration. What happens under normal condition of temperature and light? Carbon dioxide is a limiting factor in photosynthesis. An increase in carbon dioxide concentration increase photosynthesis, but higher concentration it can inhibit the process, right. And last point is water. Definitely we all know that water is very important. Without water photosynthesis cannot occur. Even no life can occur or no life can exist without water, right. See what happens. Water keeps the protoplasm of the leaf cells hydrated and help in maintaining the turgidity of the cell. In response to lack of water, the leaves wilt and the stroma closes, preventing the entry of carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. So the regulating of the stroma that is going to open or close is completely dependent on water. Water and the turgid pressure on the cell. So if water is not available or it is excess available, then either the stroma will not open or it will not close. This will affect the particular photosynthesis. Now what are the significance of photosynthesis? See, photosynthesis is one of the most important processes happening on earth for the survival of all living organisms. It fulfills the following requirements. So what are the requirements that are fulfilled by the photosynthesis or by the plant? See, food for all living beings is produced through photosynthesis. Herbivores are solely dependent on plant for their food and energy requirements. They pass it on further when they are eaten by a carnivore. The plant represents an important component in an ecosystem. They constitute producers, the first trophic level of the food chain. A food chain, what is a food chain? See, we all know a food chain is a series of process in which one organism feed on another and is turn eaten. Photosynthesis is only natural process that can capture and preserve sunlight as chemical energy. Energy of the sun that has been captured and preserved by plants during photosynthesis centuries ago was stored within fossil fuels. Now these fuels are used for domestic and industrial energy needs. The oxygen evolved during photosynthesis is released into the atmosphere, hence our atmosphere replenished with oxygen by photosynthesis. This oxygen is used by animals and plants for cellular respiration. In the absence of photosynthesis, the oxygen level in the atmosphere would decrease drastically and life on earth would become impossible. So up till today we will be studying this. From the next day we will start heterotrophic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition, insectivorous plants, symbiotic nutrition and the respiration in plant. So I hope it is clear to you all. You have all understood that what is this chapter plant life all about, how we are going to understand it, how we are going to learn it. It is very easy. Just go through it once. This is a video lecture. You can pause, rewind, fast forward any of the time. If you feel boring, you can leave. If you feel it is interesting, you need to study, you need to score good marks, then you can stay. It's all up to you. I am a teacher and it's my responsibility to teach you all. So now it's depending on you whether you will be playing PUBG in your phone or you will be watching the video tutorials. So if you have any of the problems, please do comment or ask me in the class timing or over my WhatsApp, or you can mail it to for those who are not my students, they can mail it to me. I will definitely give you all a response. So this is our chapter plant life of class 7. I hope it is clear to you all. Take care of yourself. We will be continuing in the next class. Thank you.